Hey guys, it's TELECON Tuesday. I hope you're well. Today, instead of a webinar or a masterclass, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to tell you my story. So, lockdown has been challenging for all of us. I was retrenched from my job as an architect, and it basically spurred me on to start the life coaching career a little quicker than I anticipated, a bit sooner. But I went in full steam, and one of the things with life coaching is you need to find a niche, something that you can relate to and that you can eventually specialize in. So great. Long story short, yesterday I realized where I believe my niche is, and it's something I can relate to personally, and that is dealing with bullying and abuse. So this is my story. It started, primary school. I was an overweight kid, quite overweight. Didn't watch what I ate. I didn't do any sports or exercise, and I was teased, being called fatso and all these things that kids come up with. Couple that with the fact that I have a speech impediment. You may not pick it up now because I've learned to master it. I may slip up occasionally in a video, but overall it's a lot better. I would battle on so many words, P's, S's, T's, R's. I used to battle and be so embarrassed to speak. So I remember one afternoon at aftercare, I think I was in grade 6, standard 4, for those who don't know the grade system. There was an extramural activity. I think there was swimming, and I remember I was walking down the grandstands as normal people do when they're done, and I unfortunately landed on a very thin piece of wood on the plank, and it broke. And I was so instantly embarrassed that I pretended to be hurt. And some of my friends came over. I think it was Candace or Sandra, I can't remember, but they, are you okay? And they asked me if I was alright, and I was, but it didn't change what came next. People started to tease me and bully me about being overweight, and you're so fat that you broke the grandstand, and again, mocking me about my speech. I remember, it's brilliant now, but back then it hurt. One of the jokes that the kids would say often was that I bought my clothing at Stutterford's. I mean, it's brilliant, right? But when you're a kid and you're young, being called fat, being mocked for your speech, they hurt because you don't have an identity yet, you don't have a backbone. So anyway, that happened. Another embarrassing part was I was being bullied by kids 3 years younger than me. Here's someone in grade 6 going on to grade 7 being bullied by someone in like grade 3 or 4, being hit at the back of the head by this kid who was 3 years younger than me, and everyone laughing about it, and I was incapable of standing up for myself. Fear of getting in trouble with my parents or just not liking confrontation. The fact is I was incapable of putting a stop to it. Anyway, go to high school. Again, some of my friends came over from primary school. The basic baby things, you have those bags the clips, when you're walking up the stairs, someone would clip them and your books would sometimes fall out. I mean, that's minor, but I remember a pivotal point for me was when I didn't do well enough to take my primary choice of subjects in standard 8. I wanted to do mathematics and science, and while I passed them both in the year before, they weren't high enough to take as primary subjects. I would need to do a 7th and an 8th subject, so a lot of extra time, and my parents made the decision to keep me back a year. At the time I thought it was the worst thing that could have happened to me. Here's this guy, second year in high school, and he has to redo standard 7, grade 9. It was hard. I remember being in class, one of the teachers was friends with my brother actually. He such a supportive guy throughout high school. When I was in his class, second year of grade 9. People like, Mark, weren't you in grade 9 last year? And he very amicably and professionally just, can't remember what he said, but it stopped people asking. Anyway, I made some friends in that year, and some of the friends from the year above, they were okay, and some of them teased me a little bit, nothing bad. But, I remember I actually started to do well in a lot of subjects, and I was getting awards. You've done the year twice, of course you'll get an award, but I ended up getting awards every year subsequent to that, and it built up my confidence academically. And it ended up being the best thing my parents could have done for me, because I was accepted into university. And then, girls. I remember for Valentine's Day I bought this girl a rose, like we all do, and peers, is that your girlfriend? Is that your girlfriend? And she confronted me, and she asked me, what's this rumor that I'm your girlfriend? And I didn't start the rumor, but again, I allowed the bullying by people above me and around me to happen. And I suppose that diminished my confidence in talking to a girl. I remember my first high school girlfriend, we didn't even hold hands. Peers my age were kissing and hugging and holding hands, and I couldn't even hold hands. I guess it kind of made sense that we were together. I mean, we liked each other. She was an awesome girl. We both had a speech impediment, and I don't know what her thoughts were, but to me it was you're young, like, oh, this makes sense, we both stutter, but anyway, that's that. And then I dated a girl in matric. Treated me super well. We were together for a while, and then we broke up. But we'll get back to that. So I go to university, and I'm happy. I'm in university. I was so good at technical drawing. I became a prefect. I was first team rugby. Like, it really, after repeating grade 9, it really changed my attitude towards school and life. So go to university. Sleepless nights to finish a project. There were jokes, there were the fun lectures, there were the boring lectures. And I remember there was this girl, I thought she was the most beautiful girl on campus, Alicia. All my friends knew that Mark had this massive crush on Alicia. And one day I went with my friend it was Frank's Canteen. He didn't have a great selection, but Frank's Canteen was the place before we got a student center. And she was walking on the bridge into the campus, and at that moment I realized I'm done with these limiting beliefs that have been put onto me by bullies, that I'm not good enough, And I walked up to her and I said hi. I introduced myself, I apologized for being forward, and I realized at that moment the hardest part was saying hi. That's it. Anyway, so she liked someone else, and we're still good friends. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but nothing went bad between us. But for me, it was important to break free from that limiting belief and from the damage that bullying did to me and the emotional abuse. So finished at my undergrad. I remember in 4th year, I was one of 4 students who were selected to mentor students below us, and that was great. On a Friday, we would mentor these students in 1st and 2nd year, while our peers were sleeping or partying or working on projects. That was great. Finished undergrad, I'm meant to go to postgrad, and I ended up getting back together with that girl I was with during that time. I was meant to go back to UJ after 1 year, and their master's program was delayed, so I ended up working a 2nd year. Sorry for the slight break. I had to open the door for my cat. So fine, I saved up money, which was good. My parents helped a lot. I paid back a lot as well, but I had a responsibility. I saved up money, and then I took out a student loan for my studies, and that girl from high school, we got back together, and then I ended the relationship again. one of the hardest things to do was to tell the girl that I didn't love her anymore. I didn't have to lie or, take the easy way out by, cheating or whatever people do when they don't want to admit the truth. It's hard, to break a woman's heart for no reason. She's done nothing wrong, you just do it. But I had to do it. Anyway, so I go to postgrad, and I met people there who are my best friends now. They introduced me to other friends, and we have a very close group of friends. Anyway, so the transition between University of Johannesburg and Wits, different approach to how projects are handled. And I remember, there was one girl that I had a crush on as well, and I was confident enough to tell her, which is good. I remember that, and she didn't feel the same way, which is totally cool. She's overseas now, but a pivotal point for me was end of honours, maybe 2 or 3 weeks left of the year before our final hand-in, and we had 2 design lecturers. One of them supported my work fully and said that there are precedents and that it happened. There's buildings in Germany that structurally were the same, and the other one told me to my face that if you'd seen this sooner, you would have told me to deregister. That was hard. My parents were in Mauritius. My sister had moved out. My brother was also doing his own thing. It was just me at home alone. Couldn't eat. A lot of stress. I went to bed at 2 every night and woke up at 6, and only ate like a slice of toast with an egg 4 hours later. I couldn't eat more. I was stressed. And then, I went to the pharmacist, got some herbal stuff to help me. And anyway, so I passed that year, and then, but the fact is I accepted that. I let my value be dropped by the words of others. I believed it. I remember phoning one of my good friends and asking him all these things which I know were fine, but words hurt, and like people instill limiting beliefs on you. Anyway, went to masters, went a lot better, finished masters, great, graduated, happy. So during high school and university, my mom was medically boarded, so my dad worked really hard, and I look up to him. He's a very hard-working man. Just to touch on family, another thing I was exposed to was, behaviors of people through their irresponsible use of alcohol. Hurtful things were said to me by, friends and family, not everyone, but my earliest memory was my uncle revving his car outside our place, waiting for his wife to get there. And he was really, I was just worried, what violence would happen when he got home with his wife. It's just, these things stay with you, and, the person I am now, I would go to that person and say, hey, stop it, treat her with respect, because I don't like bullies, I've been through it, I've had it. Anyway, so finish masters, meet this girl online. I didn't do clubs and bars and all those things, so a lot of my girlfriends came from online. Nothing wrong with that. There's many relationships. I know people are married. Anyway, met her online. Things were going well. I moved out of house, with her into this cottage on her parents' place. And we were going to get engaged. I had an engagement party planned and everything, and I didn't see it back then. My friends tried to warn me, and I defended the behavior so many times. I would spend hours on end supporting her at things she did, her passion. Again, to be diplomatic, I'm not going to give too much information away, but when it came to spending time with my friends, there was always an excuse. Headaches, tired, even for 2 hours. We have to have dinner anyway. Why don't we just go have dinner with them? They want to see us. And no. And when my friends called me out on it, I defended that behavior. I didn't see it then, I was being manipulated, and I love this new saying I've picked up, no matter how thin you slice the bread, there's always two sides. So my contribution to that was that I was incapable of standing up for myself. I allowed the behavior to happen. Anyway, so 3 of my good friends, they celebrate their birthdays in July. They're 3 days after one another, and we had planned this ice skating evening and then dinner at Spur. They wanted to go to Spur. Anyway, my knees weren't great from rugby at school, and her knees weren't great from her career. They were a bit damaged, so I thought it's cool. I said to her, we can sit on the side, get an ice cream, and when they're done ice skating, we can all go for dinner. Great. The evening comes and headache again. Take a painkiller. It's just And at that moment, I said enough. I said okay. I went to the bedroom. I got my old rugby socks, nice and thick, slung them over my shoulder, and she asked me where I was going. I said I'm going to my friends. You don't want to come with? That's fine, but these are my friends. They're important to me. And I went, and from there things just didn't work out. There were fights after fights. Again, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but she went to see my mom behind my back and told her stories that I let happen. It was pouring rain one day, and Mark doesn't take the trash out because that day it was raining hard, and I let her say that. It's crazy. Again, I just let that emotional abuse, and psychologically, some of the stuff she said and did was emasculating. Here I am, not even 30, and some of the stuff she said and did made me believe I had a problem. I've never admitted this, and I'm going to now, because I believe in the power of expression. I believe that I was in my mid-20s having erection problems, and it wasn't the case. But man, I let that abuse get to such a point that it became a belief. My confidence dropped. I was emasculated. My brother was a huge help to me that time, and anyway, so that didn't work out. Engagement was called off. My heart was broken, and on the day it was officially over, the people whom I neglected the most were the first ones to help. I mean, my parents were there obviously, but my friends, they all dropped their plans for that evening, and they came through with me to, I think we went to Hooters, and they were there for me. And I've told them thank you, but guys, if you're watching or listening, again, thank you. That it got me to see true friendship and true value in people who care about you and who want to help you through a rough time. Anyway, I went through another mentally and emotionally abusive relationship. Hurtful things were said. So that didn't work out. And at the end I said, look, I'm not a yo-yo, I can't keep doing this. And so we ended. Met someone awesome afterwards. She's a psychologist, and she didn't do psychology on me, but she got me out of those limiting beliefs. And I don't need to say who she was, but she knows who she is, and she's in a fantastic relationship now, super happy. So thank you. The workplace. I remember working on a deadline with 2 or 3 friends at one of my companies. It was a while ago. We left at 1 that night. It was late. We had McDonald's delivered to us that arrived cold. We were tired. It was a hot day that day, so we were really drained. But we finished at 1 o'clock. We closed office and went home. And the next morning, as always, I went to gym. And I walked in the office at 10 to 8 maybe, and I remember someone in one of the managerial positions said, Mark, other people get you at 7:30, 7 o'clock, and you walk in at 10 to 8. And I stood there and I accepted it. you know, what must I say? I accepted it. I didn't say, but I was here till like 1 o'clock last night, and you know, even though I wasn't late, I let it happen. And the next day, I cut my gym short. I let that manipulation control me, and I entered gym 20 minutes earlier so I could get to work at 7:30. And I won't do it again unless there's a deadline. And you know, I'll always, at the drop of a hat, if someone says, Mark, I need your help, I'll drop whatever I'm doing for that weekend if it's for a deadline. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I let the manipulation and the hint and the, you know, the bullying get to me again. Anyway, moved to a few jobs, and yeah, you know, I gained some confidence and met some good people. Unfortunately, now with lockdown, I've been retrenched. Last year, maybe June, I started wanting more. You know, religion for me has changed. I'm born and raised Catholic. When I was engaged, I changed a bit to Pentecostal, and then when that ended, I slowly drifted away from the church. You know, I had the priest busy for like half an hour asking him about the limitations of that man puts on our beliefs. I'm not going to go into that, you know, I don't want to offend people, but basically I became spiritual. And last year, June, I started going on this journey. Some of it was unexpected and some of it was expected. Again, I was with a woman who was perfect, you know. We're good friends now, and you know, I don't know what lies in future for us, and I know she's going to watch this, but you know, we've spent a bit of time together recently, and you know, I'm enjoying her company, she's enjoying mine, and maybe I needed that, who knows, but part of it was breaking her heart. It was hard. She did nothing wrong. I could play games late at night with my friends, or I could come to bed at 2 in the morning after watching a movie. I could go out with the friends, and you know, if it was Christmas or something, you know, she was okay if I went to my family and she went to hers. It was really like every man's dream, you know, but something in me wanted more. I don't know whether I wanted more for myself, or you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. But from June, I started to get really deep into the personal development stuff. It started from when my engagement broke off, and listening to London Real, so a few things on Gaia, Tech Talk, you know, impact theory. And from June, I was hearing about this ayahuasca, and I researched it. I was like, okay, cool, it sounds good. And in January, I had a calling. People won't know until you've experienced it, until you've had the calling yourself. But I had a calling, and I went. And it blew so much out of the water for me. I went there with questions about, you know, career, and I had this idea to do something called Josie Reel. We'll get to that maybe in another video, but one of the women at the ayahuasca, she loved the idea, you know, sharing inspiration from people across Joburg and across South Africa. I've actually copyrighted that name. It's going to happen as a podcast and a YouTube channel. I'm interviewing whoever is like normal guys like us, you know, who are making a change, who can inspire people. But yeah, so one of the biggest things for me about ayahuasca was the whole transformation, and one of the visions I had was, I remember, you know, so when you go to ayahuasca, you're supposed to bring a bucket, because the idea is that you purge. You can either purge by throwing up or sweating or whatever, and I didn't throw up. So in my mind, I saw this vision that I was the only one out of the group who didn't get sick, and the next day, I got it. It was that I keep feeling like I'm isolated, you know, I keep feeling like I'm isolated, like what I say doesn't matter, you know, I don't have a voice from being bullied, you know, and that I'm the outcast because I think and do things a little bit differently, or unorthodox maybe, to go extreme. And it was at that moment that I realized I don't need to feel that way anymore. Until someone actually tells me I'm going to be me. I wouldn't change anything that happened to me my whole life. I wouldn't change one thing, because it made me the person I am today, who's passionate about helping other people move from being bullied and help them through troubles in life. And yeah, man, I wanted to do this story just to be transparent about who I was and some of the things I went through. I've purposely been vague on a few items to not, upset people or throw anyone under the bus, as I've said. But guys, there's power in speaking up. There's power in having a voice. People bully you either because they are hurt, so they want to hurt others, or because their value system is different to yours and they don't like the fact that you have a different value system, so they try to bully you to be like them. Or maybe they don't have power in certain areas of their life. They might come from abusive childhoods or something like that, where the family is so dominant over them that they want to take control a little bit in their own lives by being dominant over other people. And the beautiful thing is that I realized that. It's taken me years to transform into the person I am. And what I want to do is be a catalyst for whoever this message will reach out to and whoever needs life coaching. I want to speed up that process for you. I don't want you to believe that you have to do it alone and that no one's there and that your voice doesn't need to be heard. It does need to be heard. Don't be psychologically and emotionally held back by what others have said. I wanted to do this story to be transparent and to just let you guys know the real me. There's more. It may come out later on, if I want to go in depth into a certain topic, but it's been there. The abuse in relationships, the bullying in relationships, the bullying in the workplace, the bullying by peers, the bullying for self-image, for the way I am, the way I speak, it's a disability, whatever. I developed my own way of, again, credit to my speech therapist, she did everything she could, but I developed my own way, and that was to just speak really, really fast until I got over the battling on the P's and the S's and all those things. Guys, thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to my story, and to all those people who've been through some parts of the difficult times. You won't have been there through all of it, but I want to say thank you. Thank you for the hard times. I don't think anyone purposely intends to bully and purposely wants to hurt people. It's just they need to deal with stuff, and that's their way of dealing with it. I don't believe everyone has pure hatred in them. So those people that have influenced my life, the ones I've spoken of and the ones I haven't spoken of, thank you, because you've made me Mark. You've made me this strong, confident, caring guy who wants to end suffering for any human that I can. To my friends, to my family, your support has been out of this world. Long shot. To the motivational speakers I've listened to, Simon Sinek, Tony Robbins, Aaron Marino, Mel Robbins, the list could go on. I get inspiration from everyone. Thank you too. And to those that have been bullied, to those that are feeling insecure, who've been hurt by others, there are people out there who care. There are people out there who can relate to you, who can help you, who can inspire you and help you transform. I would love to be that person for you, but if you find someone else, great. Just believe that you can transform, believe that you can be better, and believe that whatever someone told you about you that doesn't sit well with you is probably not true. Okay? There's opportunity in your actions. You are incredible. Never forget that you are incredible. You might be going through a rough time now, but in a month, 2, 3 months, a year, you'll look back and say, shit, that was incredible. I needed that to happen. Guys, I love all of you. I'm looking forward to sharing as much inspiration and as much motivational content as I can. I'm looking forward to my YouTube and podcast coming out. There'll still be letters and articles every Thursday, and I'm looking forward to coaching you. If my story has inspired you, guys, please come to my website, book a session for me, with me rather. Let's do a discovery call. Let's see what could be holding you back, what could be bugging you. While I want to specialize in helping those that have been bullied and abused, I want to coach anyone who feels they need help. The link to the website will be at the bottom of this video, guys. Book a discovery call, it's free. Often the discovery call gives you exactly what you need, otherwise we can book more sessions, that's okay. Guys, it's all for you. That's why I'm doing this. I love you all. Have an awesome evening further. Believe in yourself. With love, MLLD. Guys, sorry, one thing I didn't expand upon when I went to the ayahuasca, and it's critical for this moment, that huge transformation for me, was, I forget the name of the prayer. I was supposed to find it for the video, but basically on the second evening we went on an experience. You had to say, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, and I forgive you to anyone who's caused harm in your life. And then say those same 4 things to yourself in relation to that person. So it gave me the chance to forgive everyone who did cause me the hurt and the disbeliefs, the limiting beliefs rather. It gave me the chance to forgive them, to say thank you for the person it's made me, to still admit that I love them as people, and apologize on my part. It was great, guys. It's truly, truly great. I didn't plan on going, had the calling, and I went, and it's been pivotal for me. So guys, I just wanted to add that to the end of the video. This is all off the fly. I didn't have notes or anything, so yeah. Guys, again, just believe in you. You know, believe in you. Be open to the help and the inspiration and the guidance from other people. It's okay to admit that you need help. It really is. You know, it's okay to ask for help. There's bravery in being vulnerable and admitting that you need help. There really is, guys. I didn't believe it at first, but heck, I know it now. You know, I've coached a few people whose lives have been transformed. And that wouldn't have happened if they didn't admit that they needed help. You know? So, yeah, that's the way to do it. You've got to admit, look inside and realize that you want to be better. You want to evolve and transform and move on to a happier place in life. Guys, now I'm done. Have an awesome evening. I love you lots. Looking forward to the letter on Thursday. And until next time, guys, have an awesome evening with love. MLLD.